Hi everybody, Professor Ball here. How's it going? We are at paper 4. Woohoo! All right, so it's coming up, and I wanted to go over the prompt with you. So we focused on social media, we looked at TED Talks, we looked at news magazine video clips, and now we're going to save the most challenging, I think, for last, because you're going to be picking a podcast of your choice, and you're going to be analyzing the podcast. And a podcast is like a video without pictures, as you already know from the two practice videos that the two practice podcasts you've already looked at. So, this is similar to your TED Talk analysis. In this case, though, you will be analyzing a podcast of your choice. What did I have that for? If you're not familiar with podcasts, by this point you should be, you can click here. And you will analyze the rhetorical strategies the hosts or speakers use to develop their argument and purpose. So these are some of the requirements, and I'm going to ask you to cover all of these. And that's only 5 paragraphs. Your intro and your conclusion, that's 7 paragraphs. You can do it. So some of the things that you're going to, pick a podcast, and then one thing that you will want to address is the tone of voice of the speaker or the host. Is it high pitched? Is it low and somber? Is it sad? Is it angry? Is it sarcastic? So that's one thing. The second thing is you'll notice that they all will have some type of background noise or music or sound effects to introduce, like coming into the podcast, there will be music, there will be noises. Sometimes they're not really commercials. Some of them do have commercials, but you'll hear like musical interludes in between segments of the podcast. And sometimes I'll add sound effects to add to what they are saying. The other thing, too, is this pacing or speed in which the podcast progresses. So is it very slow-moving? And if so, was there a specific reason for that? Was it very fast-paced? Was it quick? Do they cover a lot of topics? You would want to talk about the podcast purpose. Is it to inform, to entertain, or to persuade? Who is the audience? So, for example, the one on Black Hole, New Jersey, was it for men or women? Was it for both? If it was for both, is it for people your age? Is it for people in their 30s or 40s? Is it your grandparents' age? Who is it? And then finally, what do they do to support their ideas? Do they bring in outside experts? Do they bring in interviews? Do they bring in data or statistics? Do they use humor? So those are the basics. And then, actually I lied. It's going to be 6 paragraphs plus your intro and conclusion. And then the next part is research. Now, the sample essays do not have research. That is an added component this summer or this semester, but you're going to be doing it. And you click here. And you're going to focus on 2 databases, either this one, EBSCOhost, or LexisNexis. And once you've selected your podcast, you're going to do just a little bit of quick research on the topic. What else is going on with it? So let's see if it's going to let me do it. Okay, hang on one second. So you're going to go to EBSCOhost, let's just say we're talking about the podcast on Black Hole, New Jersey, which you're not. You need to find your own. But I'm just going to type in mail fraud. And what you're going to see, actually, there's nothing else there. So mail fraud. And let's see how many hits there were. There's 785. You can see since the first time it came up was 1940, then I'm going to make it a little more relevant and pick the last 5 years or so. If I can move, there we go. And that goes from 785 to 71. And then I'm going to pick newspapers and magazines because those are going to be more interesting to you, I believe. So I went down to 52. All right, so this is from, let's find something. Ooh, gaming law, that doesn't sound good. International law, Horticulture, don't get scammed. Let's see. The article offers, oh, you know what? I typed in fraud. I should put an online fraud. Hold on. Okay, if you want to do it, it is mail fraud, but it's also online fraud. And they have protection and prevention, but I'm just going to put down this. And there's 109, so it's already at the 5 years here. And I'm going to do magazines and newspapers. And then I'm also going to limit it to full text. Back in my day, you'd find the article and you find the name in the book, then you'd have to get the actual magazine or newspaper. Here you have the full article, and we're down to 26. So why improved authentication may stop the online fraud epidemic? All right, so you read this article. Oh, I think this connects to the Black Hole New Jersey article podcast. And you would, in a paragraph, tell me the name of the article, who wrote it, where it's from, what it's about, and how it connects to the podcast that you chose. Let's see what else is out there. Online fraud, what tools, techniques the fraudsters use. Microsoft leverages IoT tech to combat online fraud. So, they are watching you. Let's see what that is. The article prevents advice to consumers on how to safeguard the privacy of their personal data. So you can do that. So that is the other thing that you need to do for your prompt or for your paper. And as a reminder, let's go back to the prompt. These are required. If you feel very energized and have the time, you can also include a paragraph about ethos, logos, pathos, and kairos. But that's only after all these are covered. And just as a little side note, if you can tell me, I forgot what I was going to say. Let me think about that. Hang on one second. So to help you find podcasts, I've given you a few links. But these are starting points for you. But what I also want to mention is you can just type in the word podcast into your search bar, and you're going to get millions of them. So now, the best story podcasts all in one place, podcasts to listen to, iTunes, maybe Spotify, SoundCloud, all your streaming services, they all will have podcasts too. So the ones that I gave you, those are just a fragment or a fraction of the ones that are out there. So I want you to pick something that's interesting to you. And once you get into these sites, what you're also going to notice is they break it up by categories. There's crime, there's romance, there's news, there's entertainment, there's health, there's sports, and so on. So that is that. Oh, and if you mention this person's name in the comment section when you submit your paper, I will add a couple extra points. So I think that was it. Just as a reminder, no use of I or me or my. You need a thesis statement at the end of the paragraph, of the first paragraph. That thesis statement would be something along the lines of using these words to tell the reader what it is that you are going to be writing about. Blah, blah, blah. You need quotations. If you go to if you go to the Writing Center on campus, you get extra points. And I think that was about it. So there you go. Paper number 4. Let me know if you have any questions. Thanks.